fake artists faking everything from A to Z. Let's look at this. This is posted on Threads by Anna_eyes. Don't send hate to any parties involved, please, okay? Anna posts, I'm confused as hell. This guy is taking so much work and time pretending to show that everything is hand-drawn. And honestly, some videos are making me doubt my own eyes. I think I have a pretty good radar for AI, but the extent of the lie is disconcerting. Would you please tell me your thoughts on this? I see real drawings and lines, and then I see typical AI images and inconsistencies. What is that? He has 3,000 followers and only praised in the comments. And of course, he deleted my comments now. Proves the point. This is the first video. Look at the process video. Oh, lordy lord. Like, this is the most, like, try not to get caught. I swear I'm not using AI. Here's my process video. What in the process video is this? This is instantly, most definitely looking AI generated. Because we have the first frame here. And if you take a look at the sketching, what exactly is the sketch? If you look at the sketch lines, right, there's this line circle for the skull, and there's like a smaller circle. What is the smaller circle for? Maybe the forehead? I don't know. And then there's like a diagonal line running from the cheek to the lower jaw. What exactly is that line for also? This is the thing about the AI sketches or like the AI faked speed paints, because when you look at it, on first glance, you see the sketch lines, it looks like it's normal. Then you look at what the sketch lines are representing, and you realize the sketch lines aren't doing anything. Because the whole point of the sketch line is to provide the artist a guideline and instruction on how to, you know, build the art piece out from there. Kind of like the framework for a building, the foundation of a building. You build a building on it. The artists themselves need to be able to understand what's happening. But this sketching process kind of looks like it's like trying to show that it's a sketch without actually providing any information of importance. And then we have this, where the skin is colored in this kind of like tan skin tone. She got a lot paler all of a sudden, but now we have background color, and the hands got a lot paler. What exactly was the point then of that? And it wasn't like they colored the skin in like darker, and then they were adding highlights on top of it, like building from like the base up. It wasn't like that. It's literally just changed again. And then the skin tone is brought back again, and we have more rendering, and then the skin tone's changed again. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with changing the skin tone, because maybe you're like, oh, like maybe the color I originally selected doesn't accurately represent the character's skin tone. Let me change it. The reason why I'm pointing it out is because the skin tone changes with all the shading perfect. You know, the blush matches the current skin tone, the undertones all match, the highlights all match. Like typically if you had just added like, I don't know, a multiply layer, you would need to like reblend everything in together, right? And then if you look on the finished piece, the sketch lines are still there. Maybe it's an artistic choice, but to leave the lines on the face after the face is completed, the rendering is done. It's an odd choice. And then you look at the rest of the art, and there's also AI looking elements. The cloak has a bunch of stars, but the stars look like artifacts. There's some 6-pointed stars, there's some 5-pointed stars, there's some crunchy looking stars. Then we have this piece of another art sketching process. So again, this is interesting because like you saw the way the artist rendered in that previous piece, rendered in quotes, right? The artist left the eyes till really late. But now on this piece, the eyes are already rendered and the skin and stuff is not completed yet. Also, back on it again with the sketch lines that don't quite add up. We have a sketch line for the ear, but it goes all the way up here. So we have a hand holding a bunny with a very long thumb. But then that became this piece. And again, take a look at this piece as well. It again features the sketch lines all across the face. Again, it could be an artistic choice, but you almost never see an artist draw in this style, this like very, very realistic style, leave the sketch lines only on the face. Because if the sketch lines were left in by choice, typically they leave it on the entire piece. And then we have the hair that's behaving very oddly because she has like these roses in her hair. The hair looks like it should be a ponytail, but it's not. You don't see any ponytail elastic or anything up here. Another commenter, Rose Kettles, adds, my biggest tell for AI, which these definitely are, is that the sketches always perfectly match the final product. Very few artists work this way as we're constantly reworking and adding in new elements. Another commenter adds, it's AI. If you're gonna go through the trouble of showing a progress video, show the actual progress, not blurry stages that make no sense. I love all the AI slot prompters who say, we're not trying to deceive anyone, or AI is art. If so, why pretend it's something it's not? Another commenter adds, I've watched it frame by frame and it's definitely AI. See how the hands is changing. In the first screenshot is a frame of the sketch. The top of the fingers are really weird. The second is after the sketch. Notice the nails are strange, the tiny finger has a giant nail. And the hair is messy and fades from frame to frame. So here we have the fingers. The next frame, this nail gets really long, and this one has no fingernail at all. And then look at again, we have like a lot of streaking happening. And this is not because the artist is using a watercolor brush. This is like a very odd level of streaking. And then again, the hands are a different color again. With all the rendering, again, perfect. Another artist adds, he doesn't show the full process video. Real hand-drawn artists show the entire speed up video without transitions. And another commenter adds this, and this is the most confusing. This is Procreate. Procreate is a drawing program that automatically records time lapses. So why make this like weird transition-y fading in and out video like this if you draw in a program that automatically records time lapses? Isn't the go-to solution to use the easiest path possible, the path of least resistance, which is download the time lapse and upload the time lapse out of Procreate instead of making something like this? And then the artist has an Instagram page, right? So this is the artist's Instagram page. Again, don't send hate to any parties involved here. I'm showing you this so we can see more of their art process. But again, we have other videos like this where once again, it's the whole fade in and out thing. And there's all these commenters that are putting hearts, and I feel like these are just all bots. Because again, what is this? What is the point of having these videos overlaid with some like really translucent sketching process that's fading in and out? Like what? What is going on here? And again, the art piece, there's so much cross-hatching on it. But again, it's like odd cross-hatching because it doesn't look like it's done by a design choice. It looks like it's done by somebody who's like, oh, how do I show that I drew this? Okay, let me draw some lines, lols. What did they draw? They zoomed in and then drew a brushstroke of nothing. Like this is making me dizzy. It's going in and out so much. Again, here we have another piece where this is again that same original piece we saw, but with all the cross-hatching again. And this is them on zooming in and out on Procreate. The piece is already done for the most part, and they're adding like a few brush strokes in. This again is so odd to me. Like it really looks like somebody's trying super hard to make you believe that they painted this themselves. Here we have another speed paint where you can see it's again fading into a real piece. And again, like no, but people don't color like this. Right? Where you have a piece that's already half rendered and then just half the ear and the back half of the head is not rendered. And it's not even like a sectional thing where you rendered the bangs and you left like the back of the head, you know, because maybe you're like blocking it or whatever. It's literally like an arbitrary chunk of hair is just not rendered. An arbitrary part of the neck is not rendered and an arbitrary part of the ear is not rendered. It's just odd. But again, with this piece, we can break it down by the sketch because like, look at the sketches, right? This is a really basic sketch for the piece. Most artists would probably need to do like a more elaborate sketch on top of this due to like the ornamental horns, the hair, etc. There's like an oval for the ear. Then we get this more elaborate sketch. And again, like the original sketch lines don't line up to anything. There's just a random circle here. Like the circle doesn't actually fit into anything. It's not the skull. It's not like the side of the face. It's just a circle. And then we have all these lines for what? What? There is like a V cut in here. Is that like, I don't know, calculating the north angle of the freaking horn? Like, what is that supposed to represent? So we get more rendering coming out. This is just absurd to me, which is why like I'm just kind of silently laughing. Because now we get to this part of the art. Why did more of the rendering disappear? If it really is a transition from like part A, B, C, D, E, F, I don't know, I would assume we would see more and more rendering, not less and less color. It really looks like they went to AI and was like, generate a speed paint for me, and this is what we got. Yeah, because then again, the color is put back. And once again, the piece is already finished, and then we see them zooming in and out on it on Procreate. Also interesting, the tip of the ear is blue. This likely could be like an AI thing where like, because it's in proximity to the horn, AI just like rendered it in a similar way to the horn and puts the blue tip just like how the horn has that. Once again, we just see them zooming in and drawing random strands of hair, but we don't ever see them draw the harder parts, you know, the sketching, the rendering, whatever. We have them drawing strands of hair, like lines and lines of hair, which is fun to do, but it's not helping the credibility when your speed paints kind of already look very suspicious. And then we only see you with the completed piece with really random sketch lines on it. Like basically they're only drawing things that will not fundamentally change the art piece because likely the art piece is generated. And if you're wondering how they did that, I made a video on this before, but there are programs that can generate AI speed paints for you. This is a GitHub called Paints Undo, where as you can see, AI speed paints are being generated and you can have it do something like this. Like, do you see the art process though? It's the same process that that person has in their videos where it's like a slideshow with a bunch of like cross-dissolve transitions blending like photo into another. You don't see like the individual brush strokes being made. Again, this one is pretty similar where you can see that like it's slowly being rendered out, but you don't see actual brush strokes. You just see like stuff appearing and disappearing. This is again another example where you prompt it with an image and then it will create a speed paint for you. And then I think the biggest one is like the artist's own stance on AI. They never explicitly stated they used AI, but they have stuff like this, where video created with AI. This is allegedly their artwork that they put in AI and generated a video using it. I feel like that one is always pretty telling because if the artist is willing to run their own art through Gen AI, then likely they have a pretty loose stance on AI, and it wouldn't surprise me if they've used it in other parts of their art process as well. Just a bit interesting. These accounts are popping up more and more. Don't send hate to this person. They're essentially, in a way, kind of like masquerading as an actual artist and like really trying to make you think they drew it themselves. But there are other people out there doing this as well, and this is something that we'll just see more and more of, honestly. So it's something that we should just be aware of, that if you see somebody's art in their process, obviously don't like just go comment random stuff under their page, but it's a little bit of like a And it kind of sucks that art has reached a point where now every single piece you see, it's kind of like, oh, well, is this made with AI? Is this not? But it's just something to keep in mind. But again, don't send hate to any parties involved. If you like this video, I appreciate it. If you like and subscribe, thank you for bearing with me. I got 4 wisdom teeth removed, so today is the first day I could open my mouth all the way, so I'm trying to film some videos for y'all. Yippee! So yeah, ignore my face. I didn't do any skin makeup. No foundation, nothing, because my acne's been kind of bad. I'm trying to make my acne go away. So yeah. Anyways, if you want to catch some art, I have art that I sell on my Etsy shop, like emotes and overlays. I also have a coffee with free resources, like a free sponsorship guide if you're a creator, and I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll be streaming again now that my wisdom teeth are out and I can talk. Yippee! So I hope to catch you guys in my streams or in another video.